since we are young, and how we are raised as women, there's always that sense of expectations, like you're a woman, do better, be better.
Then you end up isolated, lonely, frustrated, unhappy, and things look good on the outside. On the outside, you're married. On the outside, you have, a good job. On the outside, you have friends. You have a good life. And that's why people look at you and go like,
what were you thinking?
You're ungrateful.
There's no guarantee that if you do the exact things that you are supposed to, that your marriage is going to last forever.
Exactly. You move to a new place. A lot of people, pack their lives and move to a new place, and you find yourself questioning your own identity and who am I and what have I been doing. And in that space is where now you can sort of
reborn.
Yes, be reborn, come back to life if you find the right tools, if you find the right environment to be around.
Yeah.
If you have the right community, which brings us back to community and support from women.
Yes. Why are we taught to sacrifice ourselves and our lives for these things? Even though, honestly, don't get me wrong, I love my marriage and I love being a mom. But at the same time, maybe a lot of people will disagree with this, but they are not worth sacrificing myself for.
I totally agree with you because, I would say you came here to this world and you have your own purpose. Yeah. And the day our time ends in this world, we are going to go there. Nobody's going to go with you into that place. And I think the reason why women, they sacrifice is because sacrifice has been glorified for them. Sacrifice has been glorified. If I do not look like a mother, if you're not suffering, if I do not look, ugly and
you're like you're going
and edgy and snappy, I'm not being that. I look like I haven't slept for the last 48 hours.
Yeah,
like you're not being a good man because it has been sort of glorified.
Yeah.
Yes, and mashallah, men show up, they do their work. I have a lot of friends and they're great men and they love their families and they show up and they provide for their families. But he'll still go to the gym. He will not miss, his walk. He would have his time with his friends. He would travel. He would see a nice shirt. He will buy for himself. Yeah. And nobody tells
judges
them
him
like
that he's being a bad dad or
not being
a good husband.
And us, you wake up in the morning, maybe you cook for your family, you take care of your daughter, you take her to her play day, you do this, you maybe make food for your husband, for your kids, and maybe it's 4:00. I've done everything. And then I just want to go, have a cup of tea with Fatima. All of a sudden I'm like, I'm a bad mom.
Because you took time for yourself. So why do we need to relate the two?
Yes. So, and somebody telling you you don't look like a mom or you don't look like a wife simply means that you're doing what you want. So motherhood and wifehood is represented with
with suffering.
Your life is over. And a lot of people will even tell you see on the internet when people are being told, before you get married, travel to wherever you want to travel to, do everything that you want to.
Sad. Who tells that to a man? Who says that to a man?
Nobody.
Who says that to a man? Because clearly that shows you that as a woman, once you get married, your life is over.
Yes.
The funny thing is that I took the longest time to be a mom, actually. And the reason that is because I was scared that motherhood is going to change who I am. Okay. And I was not ready for that responsibility shift.
Okay.
Like from me being myself and enjoying life, And then I was scared of the shift of now, because remember I was a firstborn daughter.
Yes.
And I had all those expectations and I had all those responsibilities. And then for the first time after I got married, and I worked on myself. Mm-hmm. And now I was very much about what do I want? What do I need? And I did everything that I wanted, nothing to worry about. And then so now the thought of leaving that life, which for the first time I felt alive and myself, and then shifting that to being a mom, and now I was responsible for somebody. My life is going to change. All of these fears where you're like, do whatever you want before, because once you're a mom,
your life is over.
You're done, right? So I had that fear.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't know if I'm ready for that. I don't think I want that. I don't think I am. I want to give up my life. But then I think it got to a point of my growth that I knew that even if I have kids, I knew I was going to I would still prioritize myself. And that's when I was like, okay, I think I'm mentally and physically ready to be a mom now. Because at that point I was like, I know no matter what, I still have things I want to do. And I still want to raise great kids, but still also not forget who I am.
Yeah.
And I think it's also really difficult for women to work on themselves to a point where they're like, I don't need to be attached to anyone or anything in this world. I can still be myself, and I can still take care of what I want and do what I want and still be also the wife and the mother. It doesn't have to be one or the other.
Actually, you showing up for you doing what you want makes you a better mom.
A better mom and a better wife.
Makes you a better wife, makes you a better daughter, makes you a better friend, makes you a better sister. People don't think that, okay, I'm selfish, which is I don't like to use that word.
Yeah.
You fill your cup. And when you fill your cup and it's overflowing, I wouldn't see it as a sacrifice when I show up for my friend.
Yeah.
I wouldn't see it as a sacrifice.
You're doing it because you want to.
I want to.
Yeah.
I'm coming
not
from a place of
to.
overflow. I'm not coming from a place of I have to. No, I want to. And that's the difference. And I like that you mentioned you got to the place where you felt like, oh, I'm ready to become a mom.
Yeah.
And because you were so rooted in who you are.
Yeah.
But what about the woman who just found herself married with kids? She has 5 kids. She's, lost her identity. The only thing she knows is being a mother, being a wife. Still, it doesn't mean that you cannot.
You can't start working.
Say like, okay, what do I want? What do I love?
Yeah.
And whether it's your health, working on your, eating healthy, looking beautiful, taking walks, being in spaces that inspire you, beauty, all of that, and falling in love with your life actually makes you a better mom. It makes you a better human being all around.
Yeah.
Because I would say it's so easy to get into the sacrificial place where, oh my God, I have kids, I cannot do anything. Oh my God, I'm married, I cannot do anything. But when you sort of like say, okay, I want to show up as my best self, because what happens is that you sacrificing is going to affect your relationship with your husband.
Yep.
And
now you're
you're
overwhelmed.
snappy and you're edgy and you're naggy and you're not fun to be around, and he's avoiding you because every time he talks to you, you get into a fight.
Yep.
And you're snapping at your kids and it blows up. You implode, like sort of. And I've seen, I again coach a lot of women who go through that, because I went through a divorce myself. And not necessarily they don't have to be going through a divorce, but just going through those life transitions where you don't know who you are anymore.
Yeah.
Because something major happened in your life.
Yeah.
You're going through a divorce. Your husband got a second wife.
Whatever.
Maybe your husband died.
Yeah.
Even you got married. You were,
That's
you became a mother.
Life shit. Yeah.
It's a very big life shit. Becoming a new mother.
Yeah.
All those, big transitions in life. You lost your job.
Yeah. You're moving to a new place.
You move to a new place. You part. A lot of people, pack their lives and move to a new place, and you find yourself questioning your own identity and who am I and what have I been doing. And in that space is where now you can sort of
reborn.
Yes, be reborn, come back to life if you find the right tools, if you find the right environment to be around.
Yeah.
If you have the right community, which brings us back to community and support from women.
Yes. Honestly, there's something that you mentioned that I really, really liked, and it's about how, you know, a lot of the time when we see a woman who's overwhelmed and she is snappy, and now you hear the husband complaining of, you know, like, I can never satisfy my wife. No matter what I do, she's always angry and she's not happy. And I always look at the men and I always tell them, and I hope like whoever like man is listening to this, that whenever you see your wife being that, it's clear, it's a sign that she's overwhelmed. It's a sign that she is tired. It's a sign that she's doing everything for everyone and she is not satisfied with that. So I always tell them, then take a look at yourself, because it shows you that you are not supportive enough. That you are not supporting her the way she needs it to be. And you know, because at the end of the day, when you're a married couple and you have a partner in life, it should be that, a partner, you know, they should be adding to your life and taking, you know, like some responsibilities of your shoulder. But I think when it comes to our community and how we see marriage, it's responsibilities added to the woman. And now, not only
your life changed, his life doesn't
and
change.
His life changes a little bit, because now he has to, like, you know, bring the money to the table. But other than that, he still lives his life. He's still his own person. Like, nothing else changes about him other than, I feel like his life is eased.
Yeah.
Because now he has somebody taking care of him. He has somebody who's taking care of his house. He has, like, he is in a softer life. But then the woman has now she, even though she was at her home, she was not cooking, she was just living her life. Now she is in a marriage where she's expected to cook, expected to clean, expected to take care of her, like so many expectations, expected to give birth, expected to have a child, expected. So you can clearly see that there's that shift, that a woman's life becomes heavier.
Yeah.
And then the man's life doesn't have, it actually eases. When it's supposed to be a division of responsibilities, a division of, like, you know, so that somebody is your partner in not only your household, but also outside, that they take your burdens and you share the burdens. So you also share his and he shares yours, you know? But I think there's that little shift that a lot of the time we don't really talk about as a community.
And also just caring about each other's well-being, I would say.
Being kind.
Yes. And I had a friend of mine, she got married, and I think a few months later I was asking her, and she was like, I didn't know how much like you had to cook, you know? and something like that. You know, because
something little like that can be so mundane to your life.
Yes, and she's like, I lived by myself, especially for women in our generation who have careers, who live by themselves for a very long time and have this sort of freedom. And in my head, I'm thinking like, okay, why can't he cook for himself? Even sometimes you might, you know, say that. But again, the responsibility, I will place it on the woman herself, because most of the times the resentment grows, and you would see very marriages that could have thrived, that will have,
if you just had the right tools.
Yes, will not have the right. It would have sort of like not break, but it's not a happy marriage. Because the woman is not communicating her needs. You know, she's not saying, "Oh, I need the day off." You know, she's not saying, "I would really need this from you." I think a few years back, a long time ago, like over 10 years ago, there's a movie I was watching, and I saw a woman. She was telling her husband, she was telling him, she was like, "I'm going through a lot. I need you to be nice to me for the next few days."
Wow.
I was like, wow, that's such a, you know, bold and specific ask of you asking somebody to be really kind or nice. It doesn't mean that they don't care about you. It just
that they
means
don't
that
know.
It just means that you can clearly ask, which also brings us back to women and how they need to like know what they want. No, not what society tells you, not
But
what the
what you
internet
actually
tells
need,
you.
yeah.
No, what the internet, what you need from your marriage and what I need from my marriage is totally different.
Very different. Because we're two different people and we have different needs. Yeah.
I might need more quality time. You might need more, acts of service.
Yeah.
I might need somebody to provide security from the outside. I don't have to work and worry about school fees and rent and all of that. And maybe you don't mind. You're a career woman. You
maybe
don't mind
I need
going
support
out there.
from him,
Yes.
so he can support me in my career.
You need him to support the kids and home, and so that you can be a badass at being, doing your business and traveling the world. Every woman is different. There's no clear cut, but just communicating your needs and setting those boundaries where you tell your husband, you tell your friends. And it's something that I also, with the women I coach, I teach them how to, set boundaries. And when we are setting boundaries, it's a fight. You have taken advantage of me, Fatima.
Yeah. You're already exhausted.
I need to put you in your place.
Yeah, you're already
I'm
exhausted.
like, no, you cannot just call me every Saturday and tell me, let's, do this. And you should have just communicated. Fatima, Saturdays don't work for me. Or how about on Sundays?
Yeah.
Not every Sunday, but once a month we can go for a walk.
Yeah.
Just communicating those things. We don't know how to do that. We are not taught how to do that.
We're taught to fight for our needs.
It has to be
very intense.
You burn the bridges completely, Friendships end because of that, and marriages end because of that. Yeah. Business opportunities, somebody that you could have just gotten along with and saying, no, I don't want this. And then maybe even you can work together on other platforms and have other opportunities together. It doesn't have to be a specific way. And it all brings us back to, okay, as women, we raise differently. Expectations are put on us. Now what?
Exactly.
Where does our responsibility come?
Yes.
Because when we say, oh, my husband is not doing this, or my father is not doing this, or
what
my brother did not protect me, or the society is failing us, we are blaming.
Yeah.
How can we not blame and take accountability?
Not to be a victim.
Tell the men in our community, in your community, tell your brother, tell your, I need help.
Yeah,
I need this.
Yourself. Yeah.
I need you to do this for me.
Yeah.
I need you to take care of me. I need this from you. And let them show up for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is so true. And the thing I really liked about when you said that as women, sometimes we are our biggest barriers is that I went to an event a few weeks back and there was this lady who was a panelist and she was advising women who are married, and then she was like, she wanted to advise, like, especially newlyweds. And she was telling them, women, please, when you first get married, don't overdo things. Don't be the best cook in the world. And you try to over-exceed, because you're extending, out of yourself. Yes. You're doing things that is not normal to you, that you can't keep up.
You're impressing.
Exactly. And sometimes when you do that, you set expectations. You're setting yourself to fail, because now you're telling this man, this is what I can do for you. I can do this and I can be everything that you need. And now I'm going to be a stay-home mom because that's what you expect me to be. And you know what I mean? But then at the end of the day, that's not who you are. But why don't you just from the beginning continue living your life the way you want and just have an extra person with you, living life with you, Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I found that really profound. I'm like, that is so true that women actually, set themselves up for trouble.
Yes, they do. And it's self-abandoning.
Yeah.
Again, and self-abandoning in the sense that you're auditioning. Yeah. You're auditioning for this person and they feel comfortable. They're not auditioning for you. But what I always say about cooking delicious meals and all of that, and taking care of because we have rights and responsibilities. Yeah. This person has rights upon me, and I have rights over him, and we have to check on that. Even even I have to meet this person's rights and responsibilities and all of that. But at the same time, it's it's sharing. It's sharing. I cook amazing meals because that's what I do. And I want to share them with you.
Yeah.
It's different when you do things from, I think it's just the energy you bring. I can show up for my friend 7 days a week and not feel like I am self-abandoning or I'm people-pleasing.
Yes.
Because I'm coming from a place of, I really want to be there for my friend.
But it's not performance.
It's not
because
performance.
When it's performance, that's when you feel burnt out.
Yes,
you
burnt
know
out
you
and
want
resentment.
to be doing, and you feel
because he's not doing what I'm
then
doing
you're like,
for him.
But look at how many things I've done. And you know the thing is, resentment is not just for marriages and but you can also resent for even your kids. I hear a lot, sometimes when I hear even our older parents, you hear, you know how much I sacrificed for you. Yeah. You know how much I've done for you. I'm like, but they never asked you to.
That's a reality.
They never asked you to.
That's a reality.
Like whoever it is that you're saying, I did this for you. Nobody asked you to do that. You did that on your own accord. So it's not fair to the kids or to your husband for you to say, I have done that for you. Then, you're the one who set up yourself up to fail because nobody asked you to do all that. You could have been yourself and do what you can do and do the best that you can do and leave it at that. You didn't need to overextend.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. But again, we are taught overextension.
As women.
We are taught that sacrificing is really is the highest place you can get to as a woman. I sacrifice my life for my kids, for my husband, for my society, for all of this. But again, it comes from why are you doing it? Yeah. Again, we do say if you're doing this because that's your love language, or you're doing it for the sake of Allah, and you want thawab. And when you imagine having a scorecard.
You're like, I've done this and I've done that.
You are in a 20-year marriage and you start mentioning all the things you did.
10 years ago.
You're taking the thawab out of what you did.
Yep.
You're sort of like pouring water on everything that you did for yourself. But coming from a place of ihsan, coming from a place of, I really want to please my parents because I want to please Allah.
Yeah.
I really want to please my husband because I want to please Allah. And it's you do it, and when you cannot do it and you say I cannot do it, he will know.
Exactly.
He will know. I will know. Oh, Fatima, she would have done. I have friends that I say
no to.
They say no to me and I say no to them. And I say that she would have done that for me if she could.
Exactly.
Even them not overextending themselves. And I have a very close friend of mine, and when I started the Noor coaching sessions back in 2024, she was even the person who helped me with it. A beautiful sister, mashallah. And when I did 1 year anniversary last year in July, and I was having the anniversary in a restaurant, and she's very particular about where she goes. And I sent her the invitation, and she told me that she couldn't attend because the place served alcohol.
Oh, okay.
So it didn't serve pork because we were looking for, it was an Indian restaurant, and we were disregarding the fact that they sold alcohol. And she was like, I decided, Fartun, that I do not go to places that sell alcohol. I was like, that's okay. And I love that she put that boundary. Does that make her less of my friend?
No, not at all.
I love her, and she shows up for me in ways but it's again boundaries.
Yeah.
Again, it's like, why are you doing something for this? Why are we doing the things we do? We need to go back to getting to know yourself. Okay, society has done this. Okay, what is your good about society, what they have taught me? What I've been taught? It's something I even enjoy doing.
Yeah. What can be right for you and you can adopt?
Yes.
And what do you feel like this is not maybe?
Yes.
Yeah, and that's fine.
Just communicating that. I think
I love that.
It's a really good place, which again brings us to taking the responsibility, taking the accountability, and now looking at the ways we can stop surviving and move to thriving and creating spaces and being there for each other. I think.
Love that.
Yeah.
So about about like how we can thrive and maybe bring back the community. I wanted us to touch on a few ways that we can do that for ourselves. And one of the ways I had noted down is that, first of all, you know how they always say the first way to find a solution is to realize the problem, right?
Yes.
And first we need to first admit that we can't do things alone.
Yeah.
That we actually need a community. And we are, as human beings, we are not meant to do life alone. Isolation is not the way forward. Yeah. And we do need a community. However that community looks, whether it's your family, whether it's your friends that became family, whether it's like, you know, your neighbors, Muslims, whatever it is, whatever your community looks like. Mm-hmm. So one of the things I thought about is that first admitting to yourself and realizing that you cannot do this alone. You cannot parent alone. Like, your kid also needs a community. Your kid also needs like other kids to play with and other parents. You know, that's why we are so into like play dates, and we want to show our kids that they can socialize with other people and live life. And also us as adults and as moms and as women, we need the same. We need to be able to socialize with other women and other people and just, be there for each other. And, you know, I think we can only thrive by actually having a great community with us. Yeah.
Yes. And it's why I also, again, say community and safe spaces for women.
Yes.
Because, again, I cannot just walk up to you and tell you about my problems.
Yeah.
Are you creating the space for me? Am I feeling like you're telling me, oh, Fartun, if you need anything,
I'll be
me.
here for you.
Right? Are you creating spaces where women can come
and you can be vulnerable?
You can be vulnerable and be each other's keeper and feel like, oh, I really feel like I can be myself here, right? Mm. And it's something that I noticed. I've been having these circles for 2 years now, and it's like we are a family. Even when somebody joins us for the first time,
too, honestly, mashallah.
There is that feeling. And I also felt that with you the other day. I joined the discussions in the book club. And it's a gift that you have to have people, to include people, to kind of like, hey, you know, what do you think of this? Or share your thoughts. And even having people, I see people when they meet and they know each other and they become friends and they hang out.
I
remember the first day we met, we hanged out
the whole day
until 8 p.m. You know, and it's those kind of vibes that people want, and just even taking that away from taking that time apart and having those good feelings. You go back home and you have your cup filled.
Exactly.
Then again, our responsibility as women to create safe spaces, and also seek spaces that make us feel, you might want to try out things. You know, you might want to see, how do I feel here? Yeah. Is this a place where there's negative energy, people gossip about others, people put each other down, there's that kind of cliquish behavior. You will feel, your body will tell you, like, I do feel safe here or I don't feel safe here, right? And I'm very passionate about community, about women having that sisterhood. Again, about 6 years ago when I was going through my divorce, it was COVID time again, it was 2020. But at the same time, I had a very supportive family. My siblings were there for me. My very close friends were there for me. My cousins were there for me.
MashaAllah.
And
so
I
beautiful.
went through it. I went through it. I went through the emotions. I went through the grief and all of that. And you can, you know, I know women who go through divorces with no support, like zero support from their families, from friends. And you have that empathy. And for me, one of the reasons I'm like, I want that kind of space is that, here you can have whatever you want. You can have whatever you want. You want to vent about something? Yes. You want to grow? Yes. You want to feel good? And I see the transformation in women who just come, whatever they're dealing with. It doesn't have to be divorce or marital problems, but they just get their spark back because twice a month they're taking 3 hours to just be in a place with women, eat, drink, laugh, cry. There's so much healing in that and so much transformation in that. And when you witness that, you see the power of women being together. And I cannot stress enough. I cannot stress enough.
Honestly, I love that you mentioned the word healing, because it's honestly so healing to be at a part of like a woman network or a community of women who just support each other and have good and positive vibes that, like celebrate each other, but also be there with you when you need it the most.
Yes.
So another thing I wanted to mention about like building your community is a lot of people, I think, only have that you'll just wait until somebody comes to you. But we also need to be the villagers. We need to, reach out first. Make that call. Check up on your friend. Talk to your friend. Whatever it is that you want to do that for the other person. If you would like somebody to be like, oh, how are you going through things? Like, what is happening? Do you need help? So say the same to another woman, or even to a few women, or to your brother or to your sister. Reach out first and actually be the village, because a lot of the time we're like, oh, but we don't have the community. But what have you done?
Yes.
Have you actually reached out? Have you talked to this person? Have you asked them about how they're doing? Or are they in a difficult time in their life, and have you done something to ease their lives,
Yes.
What do you think of that?
And when women are going through things also, again, they isolate.
Yeah.
We isolate, depending on your personality, I think. And some seek support, maybe. And it's not easy to ask for help again. It's not easy to ask for help. But at the same time, it's a skill.
It really is.
Asking for help is a skill. Just like listening, just like confidence. And I think when you can tell your friend, this is what I need. And like a couple of weeks ago, I was going through something. And I didn't even tell them, my friends, that I was going through something. Yeah. I didn't tell them I needed help, but I just said this is what I was going through, and they knew. And, I just got that support. I got that, I'm here. And I know, and I know they really mean that they're there, right?
Because they will show it.
Yes, they show it, and they're, trying to make things easy for me. It doesn't mean they're feeling the emotions with me. I'm maybe grieving, I'm going through something, but it just shows that I'm going through this, but somebody's holding me. Yeah. People are holding me. It's different than when I'm crying in that corner alone.
And there's nobody there.
Yes. Yeah. It's like holding your child. Yeah. When she falls, there's nothing you can do for her.
But at least you can hold her.
She's crying, but she feels that comfort, right?
Yeah.
And I like that you mentioned be the village and showing up for people and being out there. And how can you be that again? Maybe even going to the masajids, volunteering at,
your local institute,
the community,
or your schools, your mosques.
Doing okay, what can I do? What can I bring? What can I, even if it's food, even if it's saying, okay, how can I help? Yeah. I think that's a very important aspect, being the village. Because we say, oh, I don't know how to ask for help, but do you know how to
extend?
Extend. Give that, right?
Yeah, I love that.
That's so amazing.
Another thing I wanted to mention is that I think we also touched on this, but also create intentional moments. A lot of the time, we would love to go out with friends, right? And hang out with friends. Or maybe you're not getting the invitations, then extend those invitations. Create those intentional moments. Like, for example, like we talked about, like weekly walks. Or like be like, oh, you're like, what do you think if we go for a weekly walk and we can just catch up and talk about things? Or what do you think if we have a catch up once a month? Like maybe we can have brunch once a month, or we can just maybe have a call every week or every month, like whatever it is. Like creating that intentional moments really does help with building that community and building that relationship, even whether it's with people that you've known for a long time, or whether it's new people that you want to get to know and you want to spend time with and get to know,
Yes.
Yeah.
And I remember being at the book club discussion last week. It was that, it was that. It was you creating the village.
Yeah.
And we sat there and we discussed the book and we laughed. And even when it was over, we didn't go there.
Yeah,
We just sat there, we had our coffee, and we had suggestions of how about we do this, open mic, how about we do this, how about we do that. And even people just, creating friendships and continuing that conversation even afterwards.
Yeah.
I find that to be really very powerful.
It really is.
And I would tell women, we are past the age. Remember when we used to be told, oh, don't hang out with other women.
Yeah.
Other women, they will mislead you. Other women, they will do this.
Yeah.
There was that sort of fear that was created and animosity, even within women.
The comparison, the competition.
Yes, I have seen women come to my spaces and tell me, oh, I really love being here. You know why? Because I fear going to, women sort of gatherings, because there's this catty behavior.
Yeah.
There's this
comparisons.
Mean girl energy. And I'm like, yeah, that might be there. We're not negating. There could be those kind of things, but we cannot just say we're not going to have any groups.
Because
we are not going to create platforms. We're not going because you're afraid of a mean girl showing up in your place.
In your group.
That's not your intention.
Yeah.
And you said creating intentional. So there's a group book club discussion. Yeah. And you're like, whether you read the book or you haven't read the book, show up.
Exactly.
And
that's respectful, you just keep it respectful and keep it, and you put those boundaries.
And again, it's energy.
It really is.
When, let's say there's a mean girl there, somebody with, and I don't believe in mean girl because I always believe that somebody who's mean is somebody who has insecurities and is dealing with anything. Yeah. Maybe that's what they wanted. That's what they wanted to witness, to see there's women who cheer for one another. There's women who listen to one another. There's women who validate one another. Oh, I want to be part of this. And once you do that for one person, that's enough, because that one person will do it for another.
Yes.
And another and another. And that's what you want to, it's a ripple effect.
Really
you want to create that over and over and over again. So again, I will talk to women out there who feel like, oh, I cannot be part of women. They have bad experiences in school, in maybe university.
You can find your so-called
tribe.
Yeah, you can find your tribe.
Make dua. Yeah. I remember making dua for friends.
Oh.
I made dua for friends, and I tell them, I really made dua for this kind of friendship.
MashaAllah.
And I see it manifested in my life, right?
Yeah.
And when you're especially in those isolation moments, and like back in COVID time, it was 2020, I was going through my divorce, and I didn't feel alone, even though the whole world was shut down, because I would get on a Zoom call for 3 hours on a WhatsApp call, and I would really have somebody really hold space for me, and that's really what I wanted. And when somebody is going through that, it's not easy to put yourself out there.
It's not.
But that is that's your sign. That's your sign that's what you need to do. You need to connect with others. Yeah.
MashaAllah. No, I loved. Honestly, these are the kind of conversations that I live for.
I know.
I live for
too.
this. So thank you so much for, first of all, accepting to be a guest and coming on here. Honestly, I appreciate you so much. And I just love how you think. And I love that you are so into, I think we have a lot of things in common. The fact that, we both love community and we love being around women, and we're all on positive energy and, growth. And I love it. So, mashallah, tabarakallah. I cannot wait to get to know you more and how, be in the spaces that you're in. As we said before, Fartun is a life coach, and you can clearly see the amount of, knowledge and expertise you have in that field. So mashallah, tabarakallah. So if you guys are honestly interested in her sessions, she has group sessions, but I'm sure she also has does personal one-on-one coaching. So hit her up. And as I said, thank you so much for being here. I honestly appreciate you so much. And thank you guys for being here too. If you've come to the end, you're welcome, Siri. If you've come to the end, I appreciate you so much. Make sure you share this with any woman that you know, or any woman who needs to hear this, or even maybe send this to your man. Who knows? Maybe he needs to hear, like things from a woman's perspective, right? So that they can understand us better. With that being said, make sure you subscribe and make sure you like this video if it made sense to you. And if you would like to share your thoughts with us, go ahead and comment. We would love to hear what you think. And make sure you go follow Fartun. I will put her details, inshallah, on the bottom. Do you want to give us a parting shot?
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me, Fatima. And like you said, we are both passionate about growth, about community, about sisterhood. And because you've walked that journey, because I've walked that journey, because I've been, when I was there in the gutter, in the trenches, I was, supported by women who were, there, who went through that journey. And I think that hand-holding is what's missing in our community. And it's what we are here for. And I would say, you want to have community, you don't have to join platforms or come to my session or her session. Just, having 2 neighbors, 3 neighbors that you can have morning walks with, evening walks with, somebody that you can bond with, and checking up on your neighbor, checking up on your friend, having those conversations with our colleagues, even at the office. Yeah. I mean, being that sort of positive energy, I think, and I'm really happy. And I'm so excited for the younger generation because we didn't have this. We didn't have this growing up. We didn't have this growing up. And thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much for being here. And as Fartun said, if you guys want to build a community or want to have, you can either do it on your own, or you can join her sessions, or you can join the community that I have, Sisters Connect. We also have a book club. Come, show up.
Amazing.
We are ready to have you. And that's it. And if you honestly just want to appreciate us on the comment section, please go ahead and do so. If you have a woman out there that you want to reach out to, if there's somebody that you want to tell them that they're doing a good job and or you appreciate them, I'm sure she would love to hear that. Well, with that being said, thank you so much for being here, and assalamu alaikum.